What is going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to your 71st Java tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to be adding some functionality to this list we just made on the screen. So let's go ahead and inside our constructor still, let's go ahead down a couple lines, and what we want to do is add a selection listener to this list. So what we want to do is put list dot add list. Whoa, look at that, it already has it for us. Add list selection listener, and then go ahead delete this because we're not going to need it. And we're going to make, just like last tutorial if you saw, another anonymous inner class. So go ahead and in your first line of the parameters for add list selection listener, what we want to do is make a new anonymous class. And remember, this is just an easier way of handling it. So put new list, let me see, list selection listener, just like that. It's going to take no parameters, and we should say must implement method value changed. So this is pretty much says whatever class we made implements list selection listener. It's just an easier way of bypassing it. The thing is, we need to make a method in here called value changed. That's what it's telling us right now. So in order to fulfill our duties of implementing it. So let's go ahead and make public void value changed, and all this is pretty much what you need every time you make a JList. So let's go ahead and further parameters for this is list selection event, and go ahead and type event, and now we can go ahead and start doing the stuff that we want to do. So pretty much aside from this, all of this stuff is pretty much built in Java, and you need this every time. It's none of your own custom stuff. So it's just an easier way of adding some event handlers to your program. So now that we got all this housekeeping stuff done, let's get into the good stuff. What do we want to do when a user clicks one of the colors? Well, what we do want to do in people language is select that color and change the background to that color. So actually, there's three different layers on our window. The first, there's a background, there's a content pane, and there's something called, I think it's called a glass pane. Now, the content pane is on top of the background, so they have it set up really weird. You need to actually access the background through the content pane in order to change the background. So the first thing you need to do is get content pane like that. And the second thing you need to do is finally we get to our background. So let's go ahead and set background just like that. And I spelled that wrong. Background. That's a little bit better. And there we go. My error goes away. And so what do we want to set the background to? Well, in our parameters for here, let me just end this statement. In our parameters for here, we want to set it to one of these colors from the color list. Color black, color blue, color red, color white. So the first thing we're going to need to do is add color and empty square brackets. And now what we want to appear in here is one of the numbers 1 through 4. So how can we get the numbers 1 through 4 depending on what they selected? Remember, in our list was the array, color names, and our list was named list. So let's go ahead and put list dot get selected index. So it's automatically gonna know whenever we did not want to put that there. Let's see. So it's automatically gonna know that in our list that we just created, and why am I getting a line under color? Because it's actually colors. There we go. So whenever it clicks our list, and by it I mean we, it's automatically going to know if we click the first, second, third, or fourth item in our list. It's going to get that number, and it's going to say, alright, if you click the third item in our list, I'm going to pass 3 in for here. So colors 3 equals, let's see, colors 0, actually 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be red. So that is how it happens like that. And remember, to set the background, you need to get the content pane and get set background. I don't know why they did it this way instead of just, set the background, but they did it this way. And don't forget, there's actually 3 layers: the content pane, the background, and I think it's called like a glass pane or something weird. So that's that for this tutorial, and let's actually run this program and see if it works. So as you see, by default it's nothing because we didn't set it to default value. Now when you click black, blue, white, red, blue, red, black, white, in any order, then that's pretty much just what happens. So one more time, let me walk you guys through that. The first thing we did is import all our stuff. Make sure you have those. It's key, trust me. And let's see, let's get to the important stuff. We made a list, which was a variable for a list. We made the color names, which is what we saw on the screen, and we had it correspond to the colors so that Java can understand it using the special color.black. Next, we made a constructor with a title, a layout, yada yada yada. We made a list and we set it equal to JList color names, which were the options that the user can see. Set the visible row count, which was 4 options by default. Then we made a single selection so you can only select one at a time, and we made a J scroll pane, which gave us a scroll window if necessary. Next, we added all this stuff, which is pretty much the default stuff you have to add in Java, and finally we added this little line right here. We went to the content pane so we could get to the background, and then depending on what index they clicked, we corresponded it to that list of colors that we made up here. So 1 is black, 2 is blue, 3 is red, 4 is white. So that is how we did that, and that is how we made an awesome little program. And look at this. How awesome is that? Seriously. Red, white, and blue. Didn't even notice it. And black, where's that come in? But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next tutorial.